Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening and welcome to Southern Cross News. With the state budget set to be handed down on Thursday, the government and opposition are trading barbs over their responsibilities. The Treasurer today taking aim at Labor for not planning to offer an alternative budget, while Scott Bacon says without knowing GST revenue, the Liberals' budget will only be a farce.
Sleeves rolled up and talking business. Two of Tasmania's most influential men this week having a look over the plan for the public purse.
How would you describe it?
Next level.
The Treasurer today saying Tasmanians should be happily surprised this Thursday when his post-election budget is handed down.
They will deliver all of our commitments in time and on full.
What we've got in Tasmania is a case where the health system has been chronically underfunded for years, and the Hodgman Liberal government have done that.
But it wouldn't be budget week without a bit of finger pointing. Scott Bacon accusing the Liberals of delivering a lie, following concerns over Tasmania's GST revenue.
In 3 years' time, it's a cut of around $367 million in 1 year alone. This will have a huge impact on the funding of health and education here in Tasmania.
We've got a growing national pool of GST. In terms of the federal budget, we know what the relativities are this year. We know that the Prime Minister has said that we will not lose 1 cent.
Mr Gutwin questioning why Labor won't be handing down an alternative.
It's just nonsensical that we're going to have the major opposition party in Tasmania that does not have a platform post this budget. It's, well, to be frank, lazy and incompetent.
In response to the upcoming state budget is setting out an economic vision for Tasmania, areas particularly where the government has failed.
But there's one thing we know for sure. Christmas has come early for those demanding road and rail upgrades in the northwest and west coast, with many said to be given a makeover.
The 18-19 financial year will have over $24 million spent on roads within the region to improve safety and efficiency.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
And in light of the looming budget, some of the state's major organisations are outlining their spending wish lists. Housing, infrastructure and the environment all topping the priority list.
As budget day looms, Tasmania's peak bodies are revealing how they want the government to spend its money. Congestion in Hobart and Sorell, one of RACT's major concerns, with upgrade to the airport roundabout, a 5th lane for the southern outlet and a Derwent River ferry, also deemed critical.
All of those things need to be taken and looked at in a holistic view so that the final outcome is a combined effort to ensure smooth traffic throughout all of Hobart and surrounds.
The housing crisis still forcing some Tasmanians into homelessness. Housing bodies calling for revenue gained from stamp duty to be put directly back into affordable housing and for the state's housing debt to be wiped.
$16 million each year gets paid back in debt. That $16 million really needed to build housing on the ground.
We need to see the opportunity for everyone in Tasmania to enjoy the economic upturn that we're seeing, and at the moment we're concerned that there are still many in Tasmanian communities who are locked out of this opportunity.
Wilderness groups hoping to see money for on-the-ground park staff rather than more infrastructure spending.
More money for the Parks and Wildlife Service, not for big infrastructure projects, but for actual boots on the ground in terms of ranges and actual land management activities.
The budget will be delivered on Thursday. Michelle Wisby, Southern Cross News.
A former jihadist turned peace activist has today spoken live from London about preventing radicalism as part of the Dark Mofo Festival. Mohammed Manwar Ali was not granted a visa in time to have the conversation in person, but managed to speak over satellite for the event.
In person and on a projector, a journalist and former jihadi turned peace activist sharing a conversation from Hobart to London.
There's just one chair up here today, which is a little bit unusual, I guess, when you're coming to a session that's supposed to be an in-conversation.
Mohammed Manwar Ali wasn't granted a visa in time for today's Dark and Dangerous Thoughts event, despite applying within the recommended timeframe. Manwar Ali says he's still waiting to hear exactly why, Peter Grester previously calling it a possible attack on free speech.
I didn't want to hide anything, and I want to make sure that if I'm not invited, it's because of security reasons and nothing else, and that's perfectly acceptable and understandable to me.
The pair discussing terrorism and radicalism based on personal experience. Mr Grester was jailed in Egypt on terrorism charges while working as a journalist, while Manwar Ali spent years in jihadi recruitment before leaving the movement.
I changed because of people like perhaps yourselves, my line manager, who's a non-Muslim, being humane with me.
You know, we live in a world that's dividing and getting more divisive, and the only possible way forward is through being open-minded. I guess, you know, trying to put your hatred to the side for a minute.
The audience hearing radicalism stems from a desire for masculinity and a quest for martyrdom.
So they use violence as a justified means to create separation, create hatred, and to show the government to be inept.
Another political message in the form of a 24-hour swimming relay with the distance covered across the event, symbolising the distance between Manus Island and Australia.
It's really important to have a bodily experience of distance and kind of feel in your body what something feels like.
The Dark Mofo event, called Landing, aiming to raise awareness about the plight of those in offshore detention while wearing hats shaped as islands. The festival continues this week. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Hundreds of people rallied on Kingston Beach today, urging the council to change its proposed dog management policy. Kingborough residents say the stricter dog walking regulations will cause more harm than good.
These dog owners want their message heard, gathering today at Kingston Beach for the community and their dogs to have a say.
But we can certainly pass on your concerns and comments.
What is happening here is a bit of a revolution in regards to the current draft dog management policy that Kingborough Council are looking at implementing.
The rally is here to let people actually hear from the Mayor, to have a look at the policy and to hopefully sign the petition that we have.
A petition receiving almost 500 signatures today aims to change the proposed dog laws.
You need to actually consider the welfare of the dogs, because the restrictions they are placing on means that we'll have very few off-lead areas, and all the tracks and most of the areas will actually be on lead.
The Kingborough protesters hearing reassurance from the Mayor, Steve Wass.
Because at the end of the day, like you, I would like to get it right.
Amid criticisms of the council's perceived lack of community consultation.
Look, we'll consider everything that's presented to us. If there are defects in there and we can see that the item is that they bring forward needs to be considered, we'll certainly consider that in our determination.
The Mayor contacted the Kingborough Dog Walking Association after the rally and will be consulting with the group next week.
It's important to try and get Kingborough Council to listen to dog walking people, not just our members. There are a lot of other dog walkers here.
Final policy submissions are due on June 25th. Ruby Kamain, Southern Cross News.
A group of Tazi Mums is supporting those doing it tough this winter by collecting donated clothing. The mums work alongside social workers with this season's focus on the children who are most in need.
Sorting through bundle after bundle, this trio just some of the many volunteers who run Tazi Mums.
Tazi Mums is a local charity, and we believe as a community we can share more, waste less and give practical help to families in need.
Stemming from a desire to support those less fortunate, the mums collect good quality clothing and shoes for all ages.
So we put together items that everybody might need, from singlets, t-shirts, dresses, shorts, jackets, jumpers, pyjamas, and we pop it all together in a lovely little pack that we can hand over to those in need.
A recent coat drive held just in time for the chilly winter, exceeding their expectations, with over 350 collected from across the state.
In May, Tazi Mums held our Coats for Kids campaign, and we received a tremendous response. Primary schools, churches, workplaces and families across the state helped us collect jackets.
For those supported by the Migrant Resource Centre, the goodwill is said to be invaluable.
our caseworkers just give them a call and we'll ask for certain items for families that they may be working with. Really quickly, the Tazi Mums will be able to deliver those items, and so immediately we can pass those on to our clients.
I think it's a great way to give back to the community and to help our disadvantaged families. You know, being a mum myself, I can only imagine how hard it can be when you're stretched to the limit financially.
Anyone who would like to become involved or donate to those who need it most this winter can contact the group online. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
One of Tasmanian soccer's biggest showdowns is upon us. NPL clubs Devonport and South Hobart will face off tomorrow in the final of the Lacko Seljack Cup. And one player has an added incentive to claim the prize. It's a championship with a proud 50-year history, but Devonport captain Braden Mann has an extra connection to the highly desired Lacko Seljack Cup.
To me personally, I'm pretty close with the Lacko Seljack family, so the cup means a lot to me.
And Mann will mean a lot to his side in tomorrow's final. He opened the scoring in Devonport's win over South Hobart the last time they met in round 4 of the regular season. And he was part of Devonport's cup win in 2016, followed by its momentous round of 32 victory of the FFA Cup in torrential rain at Valley Road. But Mann says the Strikers' side of today has transformed from back then.
We play a completely different style of football now, and I think that makes for a better spectacle. I think probably the two best footballing teams going at it.
South Hobart will be making its 6th appearance in a cup final in the last decade. Ken Morton knows the significance of the day all too well.
The magic of the cup, and if you win this one, the next step is even more magical. So, of course, it's a great motivation for players on both sides.
Despite some recent form, Morton isn't getting ahead of himself.
I think we're getting a little bit better. I think we have a bit to go to peak.
Kick-off is 2 o'clock tomorrow at KG5. Tasmanian Eddie Ockenden has been named co-captain of the Kookaburra squad for the upcoming Champions Trophy in Europe. The leadership role is vacant after the retirement of Mark Knowles following the Commonwealth Games. Ockenden will be in the running to be named sole captain ahead of this year's World Cup being held in India from November. Burnie's Jamie and Simon Vandenberg have taken out the Tall Timbers Hellier Rally in Smithton. In wet and slippery conditions, the pair managed to keep control around the forest in their Mitsubishi Lancer to finish 29 seconds clear of the field. The Hellier Rally also hosted the second round of the Tasmanian Rally Championship Series, with Bodie Reading and Alex Malcolm backing up their first round win. It wasn't all good news for the team, with some truly off-road driving causing them to lose time. The next major event on the calendar will be when Launceston hosts a round of the Australian Rally Championship in late July. And the Glenorchy-based Northern Suburbs Table Tennis Club has won this weekend's state title. The club defeated Kingborough-based Southern 11 matches to 9 in today's final. It is the 4th time Northern Suburbs has won the title in the tournament's 20-year history. Unlike most tournaments, the state title is decided on team performance rather than individual.
And in sports like table tennis, outside of the Olympics and the World Championship, really team events are pretty rare.
Followed by Devonport and Burnie.
Good evening. Temperatures got down to -5 overnight in Lyowini. Hobart and Devonport reached a maximum today of 14, Launceston 15, Burnie 13. 16 was the state's high today at St Helens, 15 for Friendly Beaches, King and Flinders Islands. Smithton 14 along with Low Head, Maria Island and Strawn. The Harts Mountains double figures 10 degrees. Ooze 9 and Lyowini a high of just 8 degrees. Low-level cloud was about parts of the north today, mostly clear conditions for the rest of the state. A frontal cloud band extends over southern waters and parts of southwest WA, while middle to high-level cloud extends over WA to the north of this system. Tomorrow, a cold front is crossing South Australia with an associated complex area of low pressure developing south of the Bight. A trough extends through Central Australia while ridges dominate western and eastern states. Seas mostly around 2 metres tomorrow, with north-northwesterly winds increasing to 15 to 25 knots during the morning, reaching 30 knots at times about the west and later in the southeast. A strong wind warning is current for western coastal waters and for the southeast coast. Tomorrow's forecast now, Hobart mostly sunny, 16, Dover also mostly sunny, 14, and 14 for Ouse with a morning frost and partly cloudy. Moving north and a possible shower for Launceston, 15, 14 for both Devonport and Scottsdale with showers. Burnie and Stanley, showers, 14, 15 and partly cloudy at Strawn. St Helens, 14, a shower or two, 15 and a possible shower at Swansea, and a partly cloudy day for Ross, 14. Tuesday, showers about the northwest and along the east coast, extending through the north during the day, mainly fine elsewhere. Wednesday, showers about the north and west, mainly fine elsewhere. Thursday, showers about the north and west, briefly extending statewide around late morning and early afternoon. Mostly sunny conditions across the mainland tomorrow, apart from a shower or two for Perth, 18, and showers increasing in Adelaide, 19 degrees. And currently it is 7 and clear in Hobart, Launceston 8 and partly cloudy, Devonport 11 and partly cloudy, and that's tonight's weather.
Thanks for that, Carmen. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a happy and safe week. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.